Select stream. I'm just going to have to share it with my members. Okay, here we go. We should be back now. Docs, chat. Okay, and okay, so now let's just go back to the charts and the analysis. So if we're going to get long, I need to see a close above 3,302 basically. So as price gets above this current level. Ben H, how we doing? Sorry guys, it's been a bit of a shitty start online. I've had a few tech issues with YouTube, but hopefully we are all sorted right now. So no orders pending at the minute. We are just sitting tight and waiting for market structure um, to play out. Now, the things we're looking for, as we highlighted on the higher time frame, is just looking at the 4 hour, we've got a nice cyclical change. And when I refer to cyclical change, we look at market structure, the highs. You can see how the highs were progressively getting higher. And then as of here, we have a lower high. This low, all of a sudden we create a lower low, then a lower high, then a lower low. So technically speaking, this market can correct. It can come all the way up to 33.24 before we have then a change in structure. If it goes above 33.24, my bias will be long the market. Okay, it'll be long the market. Until this point, I'm happy to take long trades, but my bias will be looking for sells. I'm looking for resistance to form to then trade it back this way. Does that make sense, guys? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for resistance to form, and then I'm looking for the market to roll over, sellers to come back in, and then we'll look to take advantage from that point of view. So we are just waiting for resistance to form. So if we go back to the 1 hour, last resistance we can see is back here, and we want to see if the market will reject this area. Now, as candle is currently pushing higher, I don't mind if it takes out the high of this previous H1, but if it breaks the low, this is going to be really good for a shift in sentiment. We do have news in what, 17 minutes, unemployment, and what's the other news we have today? 1:30, unemployment and prelim GDP quarter on quarter. Again, GDP is expected to come in at a negative 0.3. So not good data, but obviously the impact of that data quarter on quarter is probably down to the tariffs that have been speculated by Trump. But we do know that on the back, uh, totally wrong. Yeah, thanks for your opinion. I'll. I love it when people come in and just go totally wrong. Is it XRP? No, it's gold, mate. But in that case, you are totally wrong, pal. It's gold. So we're looking at gold. I don't look at crypto. If someone wants me to look at crypto, I'll give you my viewpoint from a technical point of view. But I don't trade crypto. Um, the same when it comes to analysis on structure and candlestick formation and price action, it doesn't matter the asset. The only thing that matters is how you interpret the price action and being consistent with your approach. So when you're looking at a chart, you want to be able to understand that there's only four things that a candle can do, right? So if I was to just listen, forgive me if you're beginners or if you're experienced, this isn't me trying to be rude and ignorant to the fact that you may be experienced. I know there's going to be some people out there that are quite new to trading. So I'll are you assuming gold is going up or down? I have just covered that, but I'll come back to it in a minute. There's only four things that can happen with a candle, right? So if this is your first candle, so this being the high, this being the low, don't worry about the open and the close. The next candle can do this. It can have a higher high and a higher low. This is what I call an up range candle. Or It can do this. It can have a lower high and a lower low to the previous candle. Or it can do this. It can have a higher high and a lower low to the previous candle. This is called an outside candle. Or it could be an inside candle, meaning it has a lower high and a higher low than the previous candle. Other than those four things, a candle can't do anything else. The only other variable to that is how the candle closes. So this is a big, big must in trying to understand price action. Okay. So if you wanted to see an uptrend and your bias is that the market is going to go up, then you would expect to see more uprange candles than anything else. If your bias is that the market is going to go down, you would expect to see more downrange. But then we have things called different time frames. The different time frames will help you ascertain whether the higher time frame is going up or down using the same sort of analysis. So let's just go back to what I said earlier in terms of, right, how is the market trending? What can we look for and how can we look to take advantage of it? So looking at the 4 hour, we'll come back to the 4 hour because it's nice and clean. Okay, you want to trade and you want to take market analysis from something that looks clean. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on the highs and the lows. Okay, so I'll start with the highs. If you look here, these swing highs, structure highs, they're getting higher, progressively getting higher. And then we see it get lower. And then guess what? We see it get lower again. Now this one hasn't yet formed a high. We are still in what we call the correction. The correction meaning price is breathing in. You can't just keep breathing out. At some point you have to breathe back in before you can breathe back out. Hi Uloko, how are you doing? So right now this is what I'd call a correction and the market is right now momentum to the upside. But I'm waiting for resistance to form for it then to potentially roll over and we can trade it back down to maybe create a new lower low. If we look at the lows, structure low here, structure low here, what's happened? It's got higher. Look at this one, same level. Oh, look what's happened here. We have a lower low. So we've gone from market trending up to the market trending down. And this is just a correction. So yes, we can trade this bit long, but we need to do it in a manner that is going to allow us to trade with rules and discipline. Does that make sense, guys? So it's not about just jumping into the market because we see, oh, okay, it's going up. Hi, Nathan, how you doing? Lacey May, how we doing? Uh, hey, it's all right, E-Salons, don't worry. Do you know any good copy traders? Yeah, copy traders, if you go to my stand store, you can click on copy trade there, you'll see you can get set up and you can find some really good copy traders there. So that's stand.store/trade and train. Now, let's drop down the time frame. Let's identify some structure. Right, again, we can see on the lower time frame, we just have more cycles this time. You can see. Now, you've got like mini cycles within, so this is like it'd be a micro trend within, where is your store thing? So if you just go into www. If you look, just Google stand store and then /trade and train. If you go on my official trade and train Instagram profile, you'll see the stand store link there. So right now, what we're looking for is price to just form some resistance, okay? Until it does that, we can't really do a great deal. Now, last resistance we saw was here on the H1. Price rejected here, and then since then we've broken through. Now, we do have news in 11 minutes, so it's not an advisable time to be looking at taking a trade on gold, long or short, just ahead of news. We want to wait until the aftermath, let the dust settle, let's see what the news is and how we can sort of take advantage of the data, positive or negative. Now, my preference would be to see the market spike higher and then start to drop. Now, for those of you that don't know or don't follow anything, the next resistance level we see here, this is where we've seen the market have bullish candle break the highs, then seller candles come in. Lewis, how are you doing, mate? Welcome. The great Diamani, welcome. How you doing? I don't know where my camera's gone, so if I don't know how to bring my camera back on screen. Camera was on, but I'm just having a look. So if anyone knows where to find my camera, um, oh, just let me know. Mute microphone, no settings, comment, campaigns. I moved it up there somewhere, but it's disappeared. So just let me know how I can. Mercy, how you doing? If anyone is experienced with TikTok, just let me know how I can bring my dual camera back on. Right. So we're waiting. Nothing to do until we get some sellers or buyers back into the market. So my preference, will I am, if only, if only. Good name, mate. Um, so I think shorts for gold will be looking underneath here at 32.96.35. So sell. So we're going to look for sells below 32.96.3. Okay. I'm going to look for sells below here. And the reason I'm going to look for sells below there is because if price breaks down through that price point, we'll have had a change in structure on the lower time frame. We'll also have then potentially have started to resume the higher time frame trend. Right now, the lower time frame trend we're seeing is an uptrend, and we're just waiting for the move lower. Now, the move lower here could, in theory, just be a pullback into create another higher low and push up again, equal the highs before we roll over. So this is why it's always important. It doesn't matter what time frame you're trading, doesn't matter what um, systems you're trading. It's always important to bank profits, reduce risk, and then if we do see the market start to go in the direction we want, we can then take another trade at a later point once we've got our confirmation. So the first trade that we're looking for right now is always going to be the one that's going to give you the highest return, but it's always going to be the one that is the lowest probability in the sense that we haven't had full confirmation yet. Okay, so that's why we're waiting for the market to change structure. Will's Damien, how are we doing? An old member. I presume that's you, is it, Wills? Hi, Dylan, how you doing? Um, don't know how many of an old member joining the team, so good to see you on TikTok. This is something relatively new for me, guys. I'm only been on TikTok live streams for a couple of weeks now. I think this is the second week. Still don't know how to use it properly. So, and I have lost my camera. I don't know where the camera is. Uh, if you're on TikTok, just let me know if you can see me or not, because my camera's disappeared off the screen. Can you see me or not? Yeah, yeah. So I did set it up and it was on, but I tried to move my like camera. Yeah, you see me. Okay, cool. So I moved it out of the way because I couldn't see the chart on the screen, and then it's disappeared. Hey Edwin, how you doing? Good morning, or good afternoon here, and good morning to you in Colombia. Yeah, so we're looking at gold right now as the norm. News is coming out in 6 minutes, so we're just gonna sit and wait. We're gonna sit and wait. I've had no issues. I've had no issues. Just from the copy side of it. Um, it's like anything when you talk about copying any there's you'll always find someone that's had an experience. Have you had a bad experience with them? If you have, please let me know. Um, okay, so we're waiting for the news. We want to see if resistance can be formed. I don't want to be trading long at these elevated prices. Okay, um, for those of you that have just joined, when we look at the market structure, I'm going to keep repeating myself because repetition is the mother skill, all right? Okay, so if we look, we've got structure high, we create a new high, then we have a lower high, another lower high, and right now, this movement here is in correction until we get to this price point, which is around 33.24. If we get above 33.24, we've then had a change in structure. We've created a new high on this time frame. Therefore, we can shift our bias to the market is now potentially going to go this way. So if it does break this highs, what I'll be waiting for is the market to come back down, create a higher low, support to be formed, and then we're looking for that. Okay, so just keeping it nice and simple, guys. Nice and simple. No need to try and rush anything here, because as we see right now, the market structure on this time frame is still bearish. We just need to wait for the market to create resistance. So when you look at this last correction here, you had that big impulsive candle higher, and then look what happened. It reversed on the dot. Now, same thing could happen here. So don't just get sucked in because you're seeing a big bullish candle. Look at the structure, wait for the confirmations, then pull your analysis in. So look, what we're going to look for here is a BPC short. So if I pull in my BPC short, there's the checklist. Okay, so what we're looking for, number one, downtrend. Do we see a downtrend? Yes, we have lower highs, lower lows. We're looking for a minimum of 2 candle pullback, uprange bullish candles. Do we see 2 uprange bullish candles? We have 1, 2, 3 bullish candles. So that's good. Do we have a bearish candle close? No, this candle or this bullish candle is still live, and I'm not going to wait another 4 hours for this one. So what that means is, if I'm going to look for shorts here, we need to drop down the time frame. If we look at those rules in principle, do they still apply? So do we have a downtrend? Yes, we do. We know that from the higher time frame. Do we have a minimum of 2 uprange candles? Yes, we've got 3 in succession at the minute. Do we have a bearish candle close? No, we don't have a bearish candle close. We still have a bullish candle, so there's no trade here for me at the minute. Let's drop to the 30. Okay, now look. Same thing going on here. Do we have a bearish candle close? No. So literally, in order for me to take a trade now, I need to see structure break on this time frame. And structure here is going to be this one. So I'm looking for shorts below here. And potentially, if I'm going to look for longs, I need to see a change in structure on the higher time. So I'm going to wait for longs. Longs are off the table for me right now. Longs I would look at if price comes back down and support is formed here, we could trade it back up until we get a change in structure, proper like on this time frame. Mark, you're a good teacher. I watch all the Telegram videos and I have started making profit on gold. Uloko, that's great to hear, buddy. I'm glad you're making profit. Nathan just passed his stage 2 funded account. Guys, if you are on TikTok, you might find it a little bit easier to follow on YouTube. So just search YouTube and then go to Trade and Train. You'll see me there, or search Mark Owen Trade and Train. You'll pop up and just click on the live video. The quality will be better, won't be so graded. Are you on YouTube now? Yeah, on YouTube now. So just search Mark Owen Trade and Train. You'll see us on YouTube. Uloko, that's really good to hear. I'm so glad you're making money now. Adrian Tudor, how are you doing, buddy? Nice to see you in the room. So news is coming out in 1 minute. 1 minute exactly. So the news will be out in 1 minute. We're just going to wait. This is the now anyone with military experience, or I always call this, it's like being a sniper, right? You sat in your position. Whether it's in the jungle, the desert, wherever you are, this is military precision, how you want to act as a trader. You're sat there, you're waiting for the shot. The shot may not be clear because it may be the wind may be an issue. There may be an issue with civilians. There may be an issue with an obstacle in your way, whatever it is, but you have to sit tight and you wait for your shot. When the shot comes, you take it. You don't know when it's going to be, but you know exactly where you are and what you're waiting for. And that's what we're doing right now. We know what the shot is. I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting for the setup. And we sit tight until it happens. And if it doesn't happen during my watch, guess what? I'm gone. Come back tomorrow or come back the next session. You know, there's a great saying. Yeah, sure. So Edwin, so this is what we call the BPC checklist. So this is for a sell for a BPC. So BPC just stands for breakout, pullback, continuation. Okay. Now, in this instance, the breakout was to the downside. The pullback is price moving higher, and now we're looking for the market to break this support level. Now, what we can do is you can combine the higher time frame with a lower time frame. So, what do I mean by that? The BPC short. So the higher time frame would be, let's say, looking at the hourly, something like this, and waiting for an hourly close bearish, then a wick up, and then a move lower. If I'm just going to trade the lower time frame, let's say the 15 or the 30, then I'd look at this as a breakout short. So then all I'd do is I'd go to my text, I'd go breakout short, and I'd bring, oh, sorry, I've just changed it. Let me add another one. Bring it back in, BPC short. Okay, so there, look, I don't mind sharing with you exactly what I do. Why? Because, right, the news is out. Now, the reason I'm happy to share everything with people online is because I know that when it comes to anything, the best you're not going to get the results you want just on your own. If if that was the case, you wouldn't see, it doesn't matter if they're the best in the world or average or good or bad, you wouldn't see people getting better without mentors. And I'm happy to share everything that I do live on stream as it happens, win, lose, or draw, rules, whatever. Because if you want progress, you need mentorship. It doesn't matter what industry, what sport, you need mentorship. People will always try and do things on their own. They'll always, it's human nature. And why do they do that? They want to do it on their own because they don't want to fork out. They don't want to pay for things. Why? Because paying for things is it's a cost, it's an expense. No one likes expenses. It means that it's the it's not the path of least resistance, right? If something was free all the time, and you had it, then you just don't use it. Okay? So I always believe, look, I'll show you how to do things. You can join me, you can trade with me for an hour, 3 or 4 times a week. If you do well with that and that's enough for you, fantastic. But trading is a lonely business. What happens if, I don't know, whether it's me or another mentor, like, what happens if that person just stops doing lives or that person stops doing the free information? Have you got everything you needed from that point? If you haven't, then you're on your own again. You have to restart. So remember, the best path for success is do something with someone that has done it. You know, I've done a lot of martial arts. I've done men's physique competitions. I've done all sorts. And everything that I've done, I've always done it with someone that's walked the walk, not necessarily someone that's talked the talk. You can be the best, you could be a good coach, but if you haven't done it, it's very difficult to then tell someone what to do. What happens when you're in a drawdown? If I've never been in a drawdown or I've never had a period of where trading is just not working, how am I going to tell you how to overcome it? What good advice can I give you if I've never been through a drawdown? Yesterday, we had 2 losing trades on live stream. Not great, but it happens. It's a bit like going into a boxing ring, right? You go into a boxing ring and you don't expect to get hit in the face. You might as well stop boxing right now. It's part and parcel of trading. Um, so not lots going on here. Okay. So looking at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's setting up for BPC shorts. I would be interested in buys if we get a rejection down here, but look at our checklist. Think about things that we said. Gold is it's not doing. I'm not interested in gold at the minute. We need sellers to come in for to do anything. Nasdaq. Look, we've got structure. We had consolidation. We had a false break here. We've come down. We've broken the lows. Now we're pulling back up. We've got an uprange candle forming. Next one, if we come into this area, guess what? We're going to come into a structure. If sellers come in, then we're going to have a BPC short setting up as long as we have enough clear space to get our TPs down into this area. So it's a really, really simple process, guys. I don't pretend to make something complicated, and I'll never try and make it complicated. The more complicated you make it, the harder it is for you guys to succeed. And it also doesn't mean that just by making things simple, you're just going to automatically, how do you walk someone through drawdown? Okay, so first thing you do is, great question. Who is that? Commander Chief. Commander Chief. I like the name as I'm just talking about a military process. So drawdown. What do most people do? What does a retail trader generally do when they're going through drawdown? So first thing is they think about the losses more than the process. So they would either, instead of focusing on the process, they'll go, oh, I just lost 50 quid. I need to get that £50 back. So rather than thinking, right, the next trade I look at, let's say the next trade is whatever the return is, let's say it's meant to be £80 or $80. They see the $50 that they just lost and they close off the $50. Now, that's because they're trying to get back what they've lost. The mentality's all wrong. You don't think about what you've lost. You think about the process, and the prize will follow. So the other thing to look at is when you start trading, what lot size should you start with? So when you start trading, the thing you need to focus on when it comes to lot size is start on the smallest lot size you can. It's not exciting, it's not exhilarating. You're not going to get dopamine kicks trading at 6 pence or 10 cents a dollar every time the pip moves, every time it moves a pip. But what you'll do is when you make mistakes or when you have losing trades, you're going to lose very little. What traders want to do when they start is they want to start and they want to become retired in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They want to be millionaires like all these social media gurus are showing them they can do this. Hey Adam, how you doing, buddy? What they want to do is they want to just like ramp things up really high, really quickly, and that's just going to lead you to an end result of broke or a blown account. So best thing you can do when it comes to lot sizing is start off on the smallest you can and then increase lot sizing based on performance. So if you are following a process, rule-based, and you're making profits, then you can go from 0.01 to 0.02 and so forth. The more money you make, the more you can increase your lot size. When you're in drawdown, I had this conversation with someone this morning. So someone's in drawdown. The best thing you can do is, let's say you've increased your lot size. You've gone from 0.01 and you've made 25%. Now you're at 0.05. As soon as you get back to 20%, you've lost 5%. Go straight back to 0.01. Go all the way back to where you started until you see results. So what you're doing is when you draw down, your decline is a lot slower than your acceleration based on performance. Okay, so you always want to think about, um, yeah, all good. Thanks, Adam. All good. So you want to think about how you're going to scale this and how you're going to rein it back in when it goes wrong. Don't over risk. You don't need huge leverage because take one trade at a time and manage accordingly. Okay, so there's nothing setting up here yet. What's going on with gold? Gold, we've got to wait for a seller candle. Let me just move that out of the way for now. Text can get in the way, so we're waiting for a seller candle, guys. And like I said, this is where patience kicks in. People who are impatient will start to do things that they maybe shouldn't do, which is like take trades. They see a big bullish candle like this and they just want to buy. Don't be like the retail public, which is herd mentality. If you have, I love how informative you are. Hopefully going to catch you post most days if you're on. Yeah, Paul, I'm doing this. It's not something I intend on stopping now. Yesterday was a real good turnout actually on TikTok, believe it or not. I don't know why or how. We had over 1,000 views. No, I appreciate I don't know how people are seeing it. Um, this is only the second week of doing it on TikTok. And the idea of me doing it on TikTok is actually to drive people to YouTube because I don't believe you're getting the best information on TikTok because I can't see all the questions and you don't get the best view of the charts. But at the end of the day, something's better than nothing, right? If you don't have YouTube or you don't like YouTube and you'd rather stay on TikTok, then fine, stay on TikTok. And thanks for coming back, Paul. Appreciate it. It's nice to see returning faces, um, or returning names. Maybe one day we'll put a face to the name. So yeah, just looking at it right now, you might have missed the first bit. So as you can see, um, I'm just going to repeat the information, guys, because when you trade, what time frames do you trade on? Okay, great question, Edwin. Predominantly, my trades will be executed on the 15-minute or the 30-minute chart. Okay. Now, I will take them on. So I'll show you an example. Let me show you a 15 and a 30-minute trade I took today. So based on the analysis that I've just been talking about, so let's go back to the 4 hour because this is where we're seeing the structure, okay? So here we are. All right, everyone can see this structure in here. So I just mark it out. We can see the low, the low. Now we know we're in impulse here, and this was a correction coming back. So I'm looking and I'm applying my BPC style analysis. So what I want to see is I want to see sellers coming back into the market as price comes into our structure point. So first one is going to be the most aggressive, which is here, this candle. So we've seen the market rallying up. We see a rejection candle. The next candle pushes up slightly. We take a sell stop underneath the low with stop losses above the high. Market starts to move in our favor. We get about 15 pips. I move to break even. Now, I then take the same trade while the first trade is still running. Now look, the next trade is we've got a 30-minute candle, perfect BPC rules, up range, bearish candle. Here's the low. Next candle wicks up. We sell underneath the low. It moved, I think, about 25, 30 points. Again, I was out. First TPs, what do we move? 44 points in total. I got about 25. So that's it. So I had the 15-minute trade running. I'd scaled out and got to risk-free. YouTube channel is Trade and Train. If you search Mark Owen and Trade and Train, you'll see us live on there. So that was taking the same trade twice. I used the 15 and then the 30. Now there's a reason why I didn't take the hourly. So if you look at the hourly close, I would have to sell on the hourly close low here. So if it moved up and then started to break the lows, you see how price has come into this old, what was resistance? It broke out. If price was going to retest anywhere, it's going to retest here to go back up because we know we're in a correction. Now, I didn't take the long. I didn't take the long. It was set up, but I didn't take it. And look, markets just continue to push higher. So we are still in that correction phase on the 4 hour, but that's how I took the 15 and the 30. I was looking for early entries to trade this market back down into this area and potentially lower. I'm still looking for that same trade. We're just at a much better price. So I'm still looking for the same rules. I'm still looking for the market to do the same thing. I'm looking for a bearish candle close, looking for a wick up, and then we'll take the trade. So 30-minute chart. We've got structure here, which maybe it's going to reject. I don't need structure to trade from. I just need resistance to form. Resistance would be bullish candle followed by a bearish candle. It's that simple. Not trying to give you some kind of dissertation to follow and understand. Don't you think sometimes the better entries are on the 5 minute? I mean, the lower the time frame you go, you're always probably going to find a better entry. But you're also going to come into a higher risk of losing because the higher the time frame, the stronger the signal. Okay, so you will get better entries, but you have to be prepared to take more losses. You'll get more profit from the original entry, but you've got to be prepared to be wrong more than you're right. So it's just, if you look at your watch, yeah, higher the time frame, stronger the signal. But it's like anything. I'm looking at the higher time frame here, and the higher time frame is telling me that this market is trending lower. We're just in a correction. So if you wanted to look at the lower time frame, what we need to see is we'd want to see the market signal. So this is a 5 minute, Edwin, right? So if we use the 5 minutes, so this is where did I sell? Somewhere here. Now look, the 5 minute shows a change in trend here because you've got higher highs and then it goes lower lows, lower highs. Okay, but then it resumes the trend again. So maybe this is where you get it wrong on the 5 minute, and then you wait again, you look for another opportunity, but maybe you get it right up here. So remember that if you wanted to take it long on the 5 minute based on structure, look what happened. It goes lower high, lower low, same high, higher low. As it breaks through here, you could trade it long into this area, de-risk, and then trail and hope it keeps going up. And that's just using cyclical patterns to trade in the direction that the market's currently moving. Now, there's a reason why I don't use a 5 minute time frame, because otherwise I'd be sat here all day watching market trends, and I just trade certain times of the day. That's the London Open and pre-US Open. Okay, so it's hi guys on TikTok. Apologies, I'm talking a lot today. Hi Sheriff. Um, so I am maybe missing some of your questions on TikTok. I do apologize. But if there are any questions and you want to ask me or share charts with me, you can either do that on either private message me on TikTok, or you do it through email. Pleasure, Edwin. No, I'm glad it made sense. Uh, and for those of you that don't know, guys, we've got a big international speaker on on uh, on our chat right now. Man has made it. He's done awesome in life. Go check him out on social media. Check out Edwin Carrion. Guy's done super well. Property, gold, you name it, business development. Go check him out. Where can I find info on your mentorship? I'll put the link in the chat here, guys. But / trade and train. There you go. So there's a link there for um, checking out mentorship and different things like that, and offers I've just put on the YouTube channel. So guys, we've had some really big names on today. We had Aaron Branch earlier, social media agency, scale your business. Great, great person, great business. If you're looking to grow your business, someone really good you can talk to, and check out Edwin, as I've mentioned. Awesome guy, great speaker, great businessman, great entrepreneur. Look at all his businesses and different setups that he's doing. Super cool. Alan, how you doing? Welcome. Norius, how you doing, guys? This is it's a little bit of a not painful session, but like I was saying earlier, you can spend half your time, not even half your time, 80% of your time sat waiting for a trade. Maybe 10% of it getting yourself ready, and 10% actually execution. It's maybe even less than 10%. Maybe 5% is the time you actually spend trading. The rest of it is planning your trade, checking your analysis, going through everything. So don't for one second think that just because you're trading or you're a full-time trader that you need to be trading every second of the day. That's like saying, all right, when I was doing men's physique and I was competing on stage, every second of the day I was training. No, most part of the days I was doing was resting, preparing my food, and that's it. For the smallest part of the day, I would be training. Maybe an hour weights, 45 minutes weights, and maybe 45 minutes, an hour of cardio. That's 2 hours in a day out of 24 hours. So just because you do something doesn't mean you need to do it 24 hours a day. And this is where I see a lot of retail traders come unstuck. They maybe have one or two good trades, and they go, oh man, I've nailed it today. This market's going up, this market's going down. What do? They sit there in front of the charts, trading all day, and they hand everything back, and then maybe hand a little bit more back. Okay, we're getting, how long we got? 10 minutes. 10 minutes for this candle to close. If we, Hams Max invites you to co-host. Hey, thanks for the invite to co-host. I don't do co-hosting, A, because I don't know what it means, and also I need to concentrate on. I don't know if it means I'm joining your channel, you're joining mine. So I have no idea. So thanks for the offer, but I have no idea what it means. And I don't want to screw up the live for everyone else that's on. So it's not me being insulting towards you, Hams. It's just I don't know what it means. Uh, okay. Will's gold is doing just what you predicted. Well, let's hope it does more than what we predicted. Let's hope we can get a trade based on our analysis and setup rules. If we can't, then like I said, we'll just come back tomorrow and we go again. Raphael, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the live stream. Islamic Perfection, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we've not as many on today. We've just had about 420 or something, I think it is today. Um, but we'll see where we'll see where we get to. Glasses. Okay, I don't wear glasses. I do need glasses, but if you do spend time in front of the screens, get some blue light glasses. Brilliant. They stop if anyone sits in front of the screen a lot and maybe gets headaches or sore eyes at the end of the day, they're really, really good to get. They've helped me out no end. I do forget to wear them a lot, but every now and then when I get headaches and I just start to feel my eyes getting a bit strained, just whack them on and all of a sudden sat here and the the headaches, the squinting, it goes away. Hey Jose, hey Luna, hey Jason, how we doing, guys? Kenna, how we doing? All right, let's keep it going. Come on, gold. Let's see what's happening on the 15. Okay, potentially, guys, potentially. We've got 8 minutes. We're going to wait for this candle to close. If this candle closes bearish and breaks that previous candle's low, next candle wicks up, we've got to sell. Hey, Boris. Now, obviously, if in 7 minutes that doesn't happen, then we have to wait for the next candle. And this is the art of sitting on the sidelines, being patient, waiting for your setup, and don't try and force things. What would you say is the big so guys online, whether it's Jammer, how you doing? So, what would you say your biggest struggles are when it comes to trading? Is it consistency? Is it knowing setups? Is it knowing rules? Is it just having a little bit of a hand holding? What is it? If you go to YouTube, you can see we've got quite a few members in YouTube. Um, the the live streams we do at 1 o'clock are predominantly for brand awareness and just to give people a bit of a helping hand. The membership that we run is London Open live streams. That's 7 a.m. UK time, and then we also do swing trading. So that covers all markets, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We do have we've got loads of different things running. There's obviously copy trading you can look at. Uh, Christine, how you doing? Neo Maps, how we doing? We've got a 2-day live trading course in London, June the 28th and 29th. So if anyone's looking to explore the avenue of day trading a little bit more, want to know the ins and outs, then we are hosting a 2-day day trading course on the 28th and 29th of June. That will be in London, central London. You want to know more on that, you can go to my stand store. Let me just, I'll just share that with you. copy. I'm not sure if it came out correctly, but just in case. There you go. You can click on that. That should work now. The Woken, good afternoon. It's been a boring session to be fair, guys. Just been lots of information, me talking a lot and not a lot happening. The DAX, we've stayed away from the DAX today, and the reason we've stayed away from the DAX is because it's been bank holiday in Europe. So it's been bank holiday. So what do we see when we look at the DAX? Now, we've got a lovely trend creating new all-time highs. So our bias remains to the upside. Our bias remains to the upside. We just have to wait for setup. So this market move right now, could it be a daily correction? If it could come all the way back down here. So then what we want to do is we want to apply our rules and say, right, if it's going to be a correction, then in theory, we need to change structure. So we're going to break through this low. If we break through this low, we've got another low here, which is only what, 24,022. It's like 60 points lower. So there is an opportunity. But this price point here, this to me is setting up for a lovely continuation trade. So if we see price come down into here, so this would be a BPC long. So we've had the breakout, we've had a pullback. Now we're looking for a continuation. We've got downrange candles. So on this time frame, I'm just looking for a bullish candle to form. If a bullish candle forms, next candle, if it wicks down, we buy the break of the high, and we have, in theory, around 226 points up for grabs. And that's just trading with the trend. We're just sitting tight. We're waiting for buyers to come in. If buyers don't come in, we don't do anything. If you want to know the rules for entry, then BPC long checklist. There you go. That's the rules for entry. So did we close above resistance? Yes, we closed above resistance up here. Have we got two seller candles minimum downrange? Yes, we do. Are we in an uptrend? Yes, we are. Have we had a bullish candle close? No. So that's what we're waiting for. As soon as we have a bullish candle close, then we look, do we have clear candle space to the left, a minimum of 20, 30 pips? Well, let's have a look. If we were to break above the high of this candle here and go up to that wick, we've got 80 pips. So we have clear candle space. So it looks good, okay? But we don't have a bullish candle, so it means nothing to us right now. Our alerts could have gone off. We could have got triggered into looking at the chart. But until we get that bullish candle close, there is nothing I'm doing here. NASDAQ, again, looking for the same thing. We're seeing price exhaust now. It's coming down. We've got small bodies. We've got wicks either side. No interest in doing anything here. So what do we need to see? We need to see a rotation higher. Sellers come back in. Then we can look to trade it. Okay. So the process is the same. The setups are the same. It doesn't matter. Gold is still pushing higher. So unfortunately, this is where I know people will be going, well, we could have bought, we could have done this. It doesn't meet my rules. So if it doesn't meet my rules, I'm not going to trade. You know? Now, I can guarantee you that people go, oh, I bought here and I bought there and I made this. Fantastic. Well done for you. That's not how I trade. It's not a rule-based system. It is if you're trading it around rules, fantastic. If you're trading it because you think the market's going up and you've bought it and you've made money, well done. You'll be the same person that buys Bitcoin as it's flying up or selling Bitcoin as it's flying down. And then when it reverses, you get caught with your pants down. Never trade based on emotions. Okay? Only ever trade based on rules. This way, your emotions are taken out. You know, the amount of times I see people go, oh, I took this because, and they go, because it was going up, or because I saw on the news. You know, when you see things on the news, it's usually too late. It's already happened. Okay? If you see something on the news, just ignore it. Trade what you see, not what you think. So, like I said, we've got all the way until here, based on the 4 hour, to still remain bearish on this market. If we think about highs, lower high, lower high, price can come up, test this area. It can come here. as long as it doesn't close above this area. If it closes above, we need to see it close back down below that, below the level. If that happens, then it's probably a false break of the area. If it closes above and then starts to go, well, then we want to be long that market. Okay. Baron FX, how you doing? Eben Green, Chowdhury, how we doing, guys? Welcome to the live stream. If you're new here, thank you for coming. This is gold. We're looking at gold. I only trade gold, NASDAQ, and DAX. So, uh, but with the news about the courts blocking the tariff should affect gold. Yeah. So basically, with the courts blocking um, the tariffs, in theory, that's going to be positive for indexes, positive for US dollar, gold to go down. What we're seeing today, we're seeing Nasdaq's given back 200 points of its gain, and gold's pushing higher. So the question is, can the courts block it? Is it real? You know, because they did used to have control of it. Now the control, um, let's say, has been in the president's. I don't know what the right terminology is. The president has been in control of tariffs for a number of years now. I don't know the exact time, but now and now obviously Congress and it's gone through. This is the hourly time frame. The courts have ruled that the president is not allowed to apply tariffs because it affects US trade. Okay, now whether it does or it doesn't, they're they're right because look, this is how Trump gets deals done, right? He bangs on the tariffs. It brings the opposition to the table. They strike a deal, and then the tariffs go, or they come at a lower rate. So this is uh, hold on. TikTok will end in. I think we're back to. So this is the hourly. Okay, so look, so the last hourly candles closed bullish. So there's no setup for me now. I need a bearish candle to to form. So even on the 30, I'll need a bearish candle close. Um, the 15, I'm not going to trade a 15-minute bearish candle close here just because the momentum to the upside has been so strong. So if Edwin, if you're still on and you were asking me about the 5, if I was going to trade, let's say the 15-minute, this is where you could look at the 5 and say, right, do I see a change of structure? So let's say you got a nice big bearish candle close like this on the 15. So that's a bearish candle. If that happened, then you could look at the 5 and see if you see something like this where the 5 changes cycle. If the 5 changes cycle where you end up with highs going from higher highs to a lower high and then we break the lows, then we could trade the 15 because we've had confirmation on the lower time frame. Does that make sense, guys? So that would be something we could watch for. And that's how you would use time frame correlation to identify whether the setup you're looking at is in agreement with the lower time frame. So higher time frame, strong bearish close, lower time frame, change of cycle. But we've got time to wait until that happens. The reason I keep moving my head, guys, if you can see me dodging around, is because obviously the phone with TikTok on is bang in front of my computer screen. So I just have to keep looking around it to see where where the levels are. Okay, so hi Dave, hi Luke. Okay, so something we're potentially seeing right now. If we look on the 30, there's structure level, right? Okay, we can see the previous structure here. Next structure is up here. We're waiting for a bearish candle close. If we get a bearish candle close, then it's right. Okay, can we take a trade? I find it difficult to trade a range. I usually close a trade as soon as I'm up 15 pips. Okay, so first thing I would say to you is if you find it difficult to do anything, don't bother. Okay? If you're then trading, I don't know, let's say you want to start mastering trading a range. Trade a smaller lot size, become consistent with it. Let's say and how big is the range? If the range is 25 pips, if the range is 100 pips, you can go for different target price points. So have a look at what happens when you get your 15 pips. What happens to the trade? Does it go further? Does it reject? Does it come back? This is, when you're a trader, the thing you want to look at is very difficult to see your candles on TikTok screen. Tombo, if you find it difficult to see them, head over to YouTube on Trade and Train. So that's why I say head over to YouTube. YouTube will be crystal clear. So search Mark Owen, Trade and Train. In fact, the link is in my bio for YouTube. The link is in my bio. So we're live on YouTube. The pitch quality will be much better. The sound shouldn't be any different. But obviously, it's granulated because we're going through a mobile onto the computer screen. So I do apologize. There's not a lot I can do about that. Hi, Bumble. Hey, Paddy. How you doing, mate? We're going to be on maybe for about another 10 minutes or so. I'm not sure if you see my message. I dropped you a message. If you want to, all good, buddy. Thank you. All good. If you want to drop me an email with your details, I'll give you a shout at some point, either later today. Oh, okay, awesome. I've got a little bit of time after this because I just trying to I trade the morning session, the afternoon session. We haven't seen any setups yet this afternoon. So you've not missed anything. There's been a lot of me talking, so I do apologize to everyone. It's probably not the best thing just sit here and listen to me talk the whole time. I know you want to see a bit of action, but sometimes the best lessons are learned from sitting on the sidelines. Yesterday, yesterday I looked back and I had two losses, and that's the first time I've done a live. When are you live on YouTube? Is it most days of the week and what sessions? Yeah, most days of the week, to be fair, 1 o'clock. I'm live on YouTube most days of the week. Okay, Sheriff, lovely. Thank you. Yeah, I am live most days. Uh, okay, so as I said, we're waiting for a BPC short, so we're looking for the market to reject this area, and we're looking for a seller candle to be formed. Now we've got 7 minutes of the 15-minute candle to be formed, or 22 minutes of the 30-minute. Um, if this candle breaks the previous candle's low and closes below it, that's an outside candle at point of structure. Outside candles generally not seen very often, around what 3 to 5% as a ballpark figure. Now, on that basis, we would say that would be like a key reversal candle. Now, because it's a 15-minute time frame, it's not. Although it's a reversal candle, I wouldn't be like saying, okay, this is where you want to put a huge trade on it. Stick to your normal plans. Where you are at this point, if we're going to be right, it's the highest probability of success, but we don't have, because we're as close to the ranges, top of the ranges, we pretty much can be. Hi, Clayton. Jammer's back again. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, we got to wait for this candle. It's just time. We can't do anything other. We can't speed the time up. We can't do anything about it. We just got to sit here and wait. And this is where retail traders go wrong. They just jump in, they see the market moving, and then they're like, ah, shit, what do we do now? Okay, so just remember there's a really, really good saying. I'd rather be a pilot on the floor wishing I was in the air than a pilot in the air wishing I was on the floor. So that's a bit like imagine taking a trade and then you're in it and you're like, oh my God, how do I get out of this trade? You're better off sitting on the sidelines going, oh my God, that was a great trade. I wish I was in it. Because By sitting on the sidelines and missing a trade, you lose nothing. But by getting into a trade and thinking, how do I get out? How the hell do I get out of this? There's the risk and the the downside is so far skewed not in your favor that you really need to think about, right, how do I really want to look at evolving my trading? And certain things would be, just think of that saying. It's a simple analogy. Um, and the reason I have these checklists like built into my trading view is because, again, thinking about pilots, one thing that pilots do before they take off, what do they do before they take off? It's really, really simple. What do pilots do before they take off? You like that one, Sheriff? It's simple, right? But it's true. What do pilots do before they take off? Doesn't matter with a helicopter, doesn't matter with a plane. What do they do? Yeah, hi, car. Oh, is it calm? Hey, Gerardo, how we doing? Yeah, so we're not gonna be on. Yeah, they have a checklist. They have a checklist, operation checks. Really, really simple. So when you're taking a trade, look. So as I said, you can see here, I've mapped out the charts what I'm looking for. So my buys above actually needs to change. I'd want it buys above here now. So that'd be 21,802. So let me just change this to 21. Oops, I'll put 803. Now you can see here, I was looking for BPC long on rejection or sells below. So this also needs changing. There's no longs now. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. So now I'm saying, right, based on my rules and the systems that I teach, I'd say, right, I want to look for a BPC short. So that means breakout, we've broken out. I want to see a pullback, and then I want to see a continuation. So if I just click on my text button, I click on my favorites, I go BPC short, and then boom, there's my checklist. Right, what am I looking for? So before I place the trade, you can see this is what I'm looking for. Has that happened? Is it in place? If it is, then fantastic, I can take the trade. Yeah, exactly. Peter Armand, go through their checklist. So it's so simple. That's what we need to do. That's what you need to do. You need to get a clear plan in place. If you haven't got a clear plan in place, you're not going to succeed. And if you do turn up to the live streams on a daily basis, you're not gonna you're not gonna hear me talk about loads of new, weird, and wonderful, wacky things. It's always going to be the same thing. So it gets boring. It gets monotonous. The difference between boring and monotonous, no, the difference between boring, monotonous, and let's say thrill-seeking is that when it becomes boring and monotonous, you're probably doing something right. The exciting thing should be what you get paid at the end of it. That should be the exciting thing. Everything in the lead up to it, that's your learning curve. That's your experience. Once it becomes boring, you're very, very close. Drinking a short, yeah. So right, we're thinking a short, yep. Looking for sells on NASDQ if it sets up underneath 21,662. Need seller candles to come in. Gold, potential. We've got 1 minute here. Harris Afridi, welcome. Ethan, how we doing? Waiting for the market to close bearish. We've got what about 45 seconds here. Raquel, how you doing? So potential here, potential. So we're going to close bearish. If the next candle just goes straight down, there's no trade for me. If the next candle pushes higher, then I'll look at selling. Okay, so we've got 18 seconds. All right, I'm just going to get those there. Okay, so if this now pushes up, I'm going to place a sell stop underneath the low of this candle. So we need to see it push up first. It's been a tough one on gold today. My bias was sells. Yeah, so we're waiting. If we get a push up, so look, if we get a push up, I'll show you. So I'm pretty much just waiting for this candle to push a little bit higher. Just waiting for the candle to move higher. If it moves higher, we're going to place a sell stop. Okay, so we look over here, guys. Okay, so open trade. Okay, so I've just placed my order now. So it's just underneath the low of the bullish 15-minute candle. So you've got the bearish 15-minute candle. In fact, let me see if I can. There we go. In fact, I'll change on YouTube as well. God, this is where multitasking. So there we go. Sell stop is in. Let's put partial TP in. I'm going to put 15 pips first take profit. Okay. As soon as we trigger, I'm going to bring stops down above that high. I'm going to put another TP in to scale out down here. And then we'll trail the rest if it can do that. Okay. So everyone follow what I've done. Does it make sense what I've done or not? So there we go, guys. Orders in. This is gold. It's 15-minute. Now remember, this is me trading my account. This is for educational purposes. If you are taking any trades, you are doing so at your own risk, guys. I'm not responsible for any lot sizing you put in or any actions you take. We've waited, what, an hour and 15 minutes for a setup. If it doesn't trigger, then we close our order and we potentially wait for the next one. What is my entry? It is 3309.26. Yeah, I've got a sell stop in. Mr. Influencer, how you doing? So remember, why do we wait for the market to go up before we're placing a sell stop? The reason we wait for it to go up, guys, is if you were to, hi Kathy, how you doing? If you were to place, not if you were to place, if you were to shoot a gun, or if you were to shoot an elastic band, or if you were to, we've had a closure, 15 minutes closed. Um, so if you want to shoot an elastic band, or you want to shoot a gun or bow and arrow, what do we have to do? We have to pull it back, then let go for it to project forward. So the same thing with the market. When I look for entries, if I'm selling, I want it to move up on the next candle before I sell. If I'm buying, I want it to move down before I buy. Okay? So I'm looking for that market to do that thing. So it's to, in this instance, I want to see it go up first. Let's say attract sellers to come into the market, and then as it breaks the lows, that's us in. I don't want it to go up and then I'm selling up here. I want it to go up and see if it can attract sellers. If it does, then fantastic. Yeah, you could wait for a 30-minute, Ali. Personal preference. But just remember, right? We've closed below on the 15, and by waiting for it to go up, the only way we can get triggered now is if it's gone up first and then breaks the lows. If we'd have just placed it straight away underneath the low of that bearish candle, we'd have been triggered in the trade and would be in a not such a nice position. But we're waiting for it to go up before it goes down. This will stop us from getting into a lot of trades. If it breaks the highs and keeps going up, we lose nothing. We just cancel the order. Sorry guys, 1 second. All right, there we go. Sorry guys, I just had to check a message. If this one doesn't trigger, guys, I'm gonna call it a day for today. Like I said, I don't like to be Lamine Yamal. If that is Lamine Yamal that's jumped in to have a look, I'll be laughing, but I doubt it. Someone's just got a good name. FX time. Slow session, guys, but we can't do much about it. It is what it is. I can't dictate how the market moves. Yeah. RJ13, welcome to the session. We will be closing off in about 9 minutes. If it hasn't triggered, I'll be closing it off and we'll be back tomorrow. Hey, Kobe, or Kobe's team, whoever it is. Jesse J, welcome. How are we doing? Really slow session today, but let's just have a look at the NAS. So that's what we're looking for. Price to rotate a bit higher. Not there yet. Apologies if you can hear my dog rolling around. 8 minutes and I'm going to call it a day, guys. But if you're on TikTok, thank you for being engaging. Everyone on YouTube, thank you for being engaging and asking questions. Does make my life a little bit easier talking to a screen if you are asking questions and actually interested in trading as opposed to just some people coming on and being idiots asking stupid questions or just trying to rile me. So appreciate it. I appreciate your time because I know time is the most expensive commodity there is. For you to take time out your day to sit here and maybe listen to a trader that you think is an absolute fool, you really enjoy it, you're taking time out of your day. You've no idea who I am or whatever. So I really, really do appreciate you taking time out of your day. And hopefully you found the sessions useful, informative, and hopefully I can help you over time, whether you choose to just attend the freeze or you want to join our members community. The members community is great. You've got some members attending on YouTube, so you'll be able to ask them any questions via YouTube chat. So by all means, help yourself and ask questions. We're a very transparent community. We're not massive, but we are very transparent. So 6 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. My glasses are starting to hurt the bridge of my nose. And I think my dog's getting a bit impatient. I think he needs to go out. Hey, Jesse J, back again. Who else have we just got in here? I saw a few more on TikTok just coming in. I think that's a feature they should maybe bring into YouTube. You can see who's joined. Uh, super, super quiet session, but we can't do Scorpio Strength. Welcome. Krusky, how you doing? Uh, there's been if you've just joined, guys, you're not walking into what I would say has been a very exciting session. Uh, from I'm based in London, but originally from Yorkshire. What about yourself, Sheriff? Where are you? Preston. Nice. How long you been trading for, Sheriff? No doubt facing the same hurdles that Tombo followed the live creator. Thank you. Unknown joined. Welcome, Unknown. Vision S from London. 4 years now. And how's that 4 years been? No doubt you've had highs, lows, driven you insane. I mean, you've gone from one thing with the Biden administration to another thing with the Trump administration that only started to become break even this year. Yeah, I mean, look, you've probably been trying loads of different systems. You've probably been trying to fit it in where you can amongst work and family time as well. South Africa in the chat. How we doing? Welcome. I did work in South Africa for about 18 months in Johannesburg, going back to about 2013. So South Africa is a very fun place for me. And if you've never been to South Africa, guys, what a country that is. X Viral Clips, welcome to the chat. We are finishing the live stream. Uh, you certainly do have flavor, mate. You certainly do have flavor. I started with Ichimoku, gave that a year, then tried swing trading. Yeah, I mean, look, they all have a place, right? You just have to find what suits. Um, I know people that use Ichimoku. I know people swing. I used to swing trade. Um, I stopped when Trump came into power just because the market swings were just wild. And that's when I started day trading. And now I just don't have the patience to go back to swing trading. Would just drive me insane. Literally, I've got the patience to sit and wait for a trade, but when I'm in that trade, it usually hits TPs and uh, I see prices not closing below the previous higher low. Not yet. Um, I think maybe we're going to push to 33.24.50 and then we make a decision point. But let's see what happens on the open. Are we going to see a resumption to US stocks gaining momentum on the basis that the court's ruling was these tariffs can't be implied by the president? If not, and we see the US come back in, you could see some turbocharged moves for the NASDAQ and the S&P. If if we don't see that, well, if we do see that, expect gold to drop quick and hard. If we don't see stocks resume momentum to the upside and they sell off, then gold could start a new trend to the upside. But watch 33.24.50 to confirm if we get a close above that area on the H4. So I'll give it a couple of minutes after the open. I just want to see what happens. I'm going to leave my order in for about 5 minutes after the open. What we've got 40 seconds left before we see the US NYSE open. About 40 seconds, and then I'll give it 5 minutes. Then I'm going to call it a day. I'll cancel the order and create some videos. See, this is how I have to fill my time. Do a few videos, whether it's educational videos for members, whether it's a little bit of educational content for socials, which I haven't done for ages. But yeah, I have to. fill time with something. If I sit here and stare at the charts all day, I will find trades. And like you or anyone else, it doesn't matter whether new or experienced, I'll if the more trades you take, the higher the probability you've got of taking a losing trade. So, just trade the times that you do. So for me, it's from like 6:30 in the morning, 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. So pre-London, and then I'll trade from sort of 12:30, 1 o'clock through to about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So US Open has just happened. Let's see what's going on with Nasdaq. Nasdaq's selling off on the open. Nasdaq's selling off on the open. Nasdaq's selling off on the open. It didn't come up into area for didn't come up into the area for a potential BPC trade. We need to see a bearish candle closure. So like I said, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. So in 4 more minutes, if we don't have any setups, I'm going to cancel the order. I don't mind it breaking the high because it could quite easily just break the high, reverse, and sell off. Hey Edwin, cheers, buddy. You take care. I'm like I say, I'm closing off in 4 minutes. There's been nothing for me. I'm gonna hold this one for a few minutes, and if we don't get a trigger, I'm done. Quiet day for me. Thanks for turning up, buddy. Take care. Love to the family. Dario, welcome, buddy. 3 more minutes, guys, and then I'm checking out. I think looking at the way the market's opened on the Nasdaq, I think gold's gonna push higher. Look at Nasdaq. All right, BPC trades for Nasdaq will be if price comes down here. Yeah, gold's pushing. Okay, 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes, and I'm done. So, question for you: what would you say the biggest thing you've got from today's session, if anything at all? If you haven't got anything at all from today's session, then no problem, no offense taken. Um, if you have taken any positive information from today, what would you say it's been? Be patient, discipline. Yeah, nice. From Anna, that's on YouTube. Desi, how are we doing? Um, if you've enjoyed today's session, whether you're on YouTube or TikTok, I don't know if you're on TikTok, I don't know how you do it. If you can throw some likes on, that would be much appreciated. If you're on YouTube, throw some likes or shares and comments, that would be really appreciated as well. Um, you know, wife, the analogy on the plane, patience, don't rush a trade. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, there's some likes coming through there. Thanks, guys, on TikTok. Appreciate it. Very kind. Right, 1 more minute and then it's time out, guys. So, like I said earlier, really appreciate everyone taking time out their day to come and join me, whether it's on TikTok or on YouTube. Thank you so much. Um, I'll see you tomorrow. Last trading day of the month. So, there's one thing you need to remember as well. Finish the month on a high. So, if you're going to take a trade, you should always make sure you've followed a playbook. But what you need to do is make sure that on the last trading day, you are super, super disciplined because you want to finish the month off on a high, which will lead you into the next month feeling good. Okay? It's a really strong bit of advice. You want to do that on a And not only do that on the last trading day of the month, you want to do that every week. You want to finish the week on a high so you start the next week on a high. Okay, guys, gonna love. Oh, hold on. Let's just see what happens here. I was literally just about to say I'm gonna love you and leave you, but could we get our setup? It doesn't look like it. No. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm done. Take care. Yeah, 2:35. TikTok. See you guys. YouTube. Andrew, thanks for coming in. Sheriff, Loco, X-Viral, Anna, Peter Armand, Edwin, Adam Lee Chapman, Vic, Tiff. Who else has been talking in there? Peter Cole, Frankie, um, guys on TikTok. Take care. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye.